We're talking today about what happens when your voice feels great one day, but the next day your throat feels tight, your breathing is stuck, and your voice is unpredictable. Inconsistency in singing is one of a singer's most stressful experiences because it doesn't just affect your voice. It makes you question your technique, your talent, your progress, and even makes you wonder, what if I just can't do this? Listen, feeling nervous about singing, coaching, rehearsals, auditions, it's normal, and it's even helpful sometimes. But when nerves completely disrupt what you intended to do, it's a sign that anxiety may have hijacked your attention. Instead of being embarrassed or frustrated about it, learning how it works will help you develop consistent singing. Anxiety isn't just a personality trait or a mental health issue that you have to fix. It's part of a nervous system response designed to keep you alive. In other words, anxiety is human, and its role is to disrupt your attention system. Welcome to the Singer's Mind channel, where we introduce and discuss the principles of neuroscience to unlock age-old wisdom about singing, performing, and creativity. I'm Linda Bolero, and this is episode 2 in a 3-part series on how the attention network causes your inconsistent singing. In part 1, we looked at singing as a sensory motor coordination process, and we gave you some examples of how attention works. The brain calculates movements that will get the best reward for you and maps the motor system based on the sensory information, like what you're hearing, the physical sensation, and even what you're seeing. For that process to stabilize and become consistent, the brain has to clearly recognize sensory signals and integrate them. Attention determines which signals are the most important. Today, we're going to look at how anxiety shifts your attention, whether you want it or not. From the neuroscience perspective, anxiety is a shift in the autonomic nervous system. There are many types of anxiety states and reactions, and we can't talk about them all today. But keep in mind, there are levels of anxiety that disrupt your whole life, not just singing. And for that, you should seek some help from a medical care professional. You'll hear me say that often because your voice isn't just for sound, but it's an integral part of your physical and mental wellness. Anxiety in singing can show up in many ways: racing heartbeat, gasping for breath, sweaty palms, racing thoughts. But it can also be quietly running in the background, disrupting your learning, growing as an artist, taking action on your goals, and performing. That's why even when you try to do everything right, you're practicing, preparing, you're analyzing details and thinking everything through, but when you show up at rehearsal, the audition, or even a coaching session, your singing just doesn't work. The issue isn't lack of talent or any mistakes that you've made. The issue is shifts in your attention. Anxiety changes how your brain calculates information and sends signals from movement. This can happen when you're practicing alone in your living room or when you're under pressure. Instead of attention directed towards sensory information like sound, vibration, timing that all help you sing better, attention is drawn towards evaluation, error monitoring, self-referential thoughts that are encoding memory and associations that aren't always so helpful about yourself. Without anxiety, the attention network can clearly map sensory feedback to the motor system. Your singing skills expand, your brain makes continuous, precise adjustments, and your singing keeps improving, even when you're not working on it. This is the autonomic nervous system at work. But when anxiety shows up, it shifts your attention. Sensory signals get lost in the noise of tension. The brain calculates which information is the most important to keep you from danger, not what is going to help you sing better, freely and expressively. Analytical thinking and self-criticism take over. Evaluation-regulated processing dominates to keep you out of danger. Singing coordination is now operating under a different set of conditions. From the singer's perspective, this feels like tightness, stuck breathing, pitch instability, loss of control, loss of expression. And if your attention is directed this way on a regular basis, your learning is disrupted Instead of improving your singing skills, you end up repeating the same habits over and over again. This is about prediction error, and we're going to talk about that in another time. There's one more important issue. The brain and body are a two-way street. Signals from your brain travel through your spinal column to muscles and back. So when your throat is tight, this signals your brain that something is wrong and there may be danger. So your brain starts looking for danger. That's analytical thinking. This can be confusing because what's caused the anxiety? What's caused the tight throat in the first place? Is it lack of technique, or is it something else in your approach to singing, your approach to learning, performing? So think of this. When you're in an anxious state, your voice itself is not failing. Your nervous system is simply generating coordination based on danger signals. By the way, the relationship between emotional state, learning, flow state, attention, and coordination are topics I explore in detail in the 12-page printed monthly letter, The Singer's Mind Report, where I map out complete frameworks and give practice recommendations so you can train it over time. The link is below in the description. Here, I'm going to focus on a few key mechanisms you can apply today. So the question becomes, how do you stabilize this system? Not by eliminating anxiety. You can't solve this by willpower alone or by thinking your way out of it, but by understanding how attention functions and by observing how your own attention and sensory signals are behaving. Then apply practice techniques that influence those signals in line with your goals, instead of allowing automatic fear responses to dominate the signals. Okay, number 1, sensory anchoring. Direct attention towards specific sensory signals like sound, vowel, and volume, vibration. Observing in your own resonance, where is it vibrating? If you're singing low notes, you probably feel some vibration here. If you're singing upper notes, you should feel some vibration here. Everybody's different. Movement. Moving will always pull your sensory feedback into the moment. 2, task-oriented attention. Ask yourself questions. Shift from evaluation to task-based perception. Instead of monitoring, is this working? Am I doing this right? Shift towards, what am I hearing? How loud is it? How soft is it? How is this phrase unfolding? What's going on here? This will awaken your curiosity, and curiosity will supersede anxiety states. Number 3, set your intentions. Say out loud. This isn't woo-woo. This is training your mind to go where you want. It's discipline so you can behave deliberately instead of having your attention hijacked. Number 4, variable context practice. Practice under different emotional and environmental conditions. Sing when you first wake up in the morning before you even have a cup of coffee or tea. Imagine a different emotion in the lyrics than normal. If the song is lovely and caring and sweet, sing it as if it's angry. This is obviously not for performance, just for practice. Turn on a loud noise like a fan or a TV while you're singing. Can you keep your attention on your music, lyrics, and singing, even though there's a lot of loud noise going on around you? You know, in real life, there's a lot going on, a lot happening, and you have to train your mind to focus on the work you're doing. It trains the system to stabilize coordination no matter what's going on around you. Anxiety is a human fear response that's gotten out of hand. It's causing inconsistent singing because it changes your intention system. How? It changes the conditions under which coordination is generated. It alters attention, modifies physiological state, and shifts how sensory information is processed. And when those conditions change, the coordination of the voice may change. But that also means consistency is not about eliminating anxiety. It's about learning how to stabilize coordination within changing conditions. Why is this happening to you? Well, the reasons can vary. Everyone's neural networks are established from a combination of lived experience, environmental situations, genetics, and even diet and exercise. If you need help working on resolving anxiety, please seek out a healthcare professional. But intentional practice strategies will train your attention system and eliminate inconsistent singing so you can perform with the freedom and expression you've always wanted to. We're going to look more closely at performance in part 3 of why your singing is inconsistent. If these topics resonate with you, click subscribe and sign up for the free 5-day email mini course. The link is in the description. You know, if you want to change your singing, change your mind.